Hey guys, I wanted to make a quick video and talk about the Kinetic Blast Inquisitor build that I was doing, and this is not gonna be like a very in-depth build. I also want to mention briefly about the 3.9 changes and some new support gems which could make this more viable, because as it is right now, it's pretty good for the clear speed. It's actually very satisfying with for the clear speed, but when it comes to single target, it's just horrible, and it doesn't matter how much you're gonna invest. Of course, you can invest like 50 Exiles or something like that and make it viable, but it's just not good for a single target. And I did try Minotaur just to see how the damage would look like, and it was pretty bad. If the Minotaur is standing next to a wall, or just in general, if the boss is standing next to a wall, then Kinetic Blast with the multiple projectiles do multiple explosions, and then can overlap and kind of shotgun and do good damage. But you can't knock back like big bosses like Minotaur or Shaper. By the way, Shaper is gonna be gone in next league, so you can't really like have a reliable damage. But by the way, I'm gonna include path for building import code if you wanna copy this build. And you know what, just quickly about the build, I don't really have like any special items. I use most of the items that I had from previous builds. I did get a cheap one for 6 years, crafted some additional mod, and it's like 350 DPS one, including flat elemental damage. We just want fast wand with good crit chance and flat damage. And Piscator is actually not as good. Rare one is better in this case because this is Inquisitor, so elemental penetration is not as good. It does help a bit, but only on non-critical hits. And the rest is just normal items. On a shield I just got some life, some rest, and then crafted cold and lightning damage. The gloves just a bit of attack speed, and then resistances, accuracy, that's all. On gripped gloves. Belt, some lightning damage, some elemental damage of attacks, and that's pretty much all. The amulet also flat damage, crit multi, and that's all basically. The body armor just a 6 link with good life. I am using Assassin's Mark on hit ring, and another one is the Mark of the Elder, so that does also give quite a bit of damage. And then jewels, nothing expensive, just something that I had or just randomly rolled to get a bit more flat damage. And yeah, as Inquisitor I went for Inevitable Judgment, of course, for the crits, and then with the Instrument of Virtue for more attack speed and some attack damage if you have cast a spell recently, which is my Flame Dash basically. And then Augury of Penitence for more elemental damage. And yeah, that basically covers the build. And so the thing that I wanted to talk, so we kind of inspected during the stream the trailers to see how the new support gems look like. So we are getting new support gems for buffs and some for wands. I'm not gonna talk about most of them, but for example, Barrage is learning. I'm actually not entirely sure if we are reworking Barrage skill gem into something else and then renaming it, or are we reworking Barrage skill gem into a support gem. I would love to see a Barrage as a challenge skill renamed into some other skill, into something else, and then having Barrage support gem well as a support gem. But here you can actually see the Barrage support gem, and it works actually better than I expected at first, because it kind of condenses all the projectiles into one. So if you get like Power Siphon, which by default shoots like 7-9 projectiles, and then you add Barrage, which adds another, I believe, 5 projectiles. I could be wrong, I haven't checked this, double check this, but you basically would shoot, no, actually I tried to calculate and it shot like 11 projectiles. So I think Barrage was adding 3, and then Power Siphon is like 6 extra projectiles, whatever. So you would shoot all the 10 or so projectiles in a line, in a row. Like this is slow down. This is using elemental hit, and you can see a bunch of projectiles. It looks actually really cool. And yeah, some skills work very well with extra projectiles. I'm not gonna talk about other supports, but another example, we talked about the explosive arrow, and we investigated this trailer to see if explosive arrow looks different, because there's some massive explosions at the end of this fight, but that explosion I believe is from something else. So if you look closely, you will be able to see the current explosive arrow effects. So here's stacking a bunch of them, and here's about to explode. Boom. This is the old explosive arrow effect. So the AoE does seem much bigger. But yeah, and then this boss, this is by the way Metamorph boss from the new league. He summons something, and I believe those summons explode. You do see that it stacks more explosive arrows, but I'm not sure if this explosion is not explosive arrow. I think you can see the explosive arrow. This kind of faded transparent ring. This is from explosive arrow, but this massive explosion, it may be Herald of Ash as well, but it's not explosive arrow. It's not gonna look this cool. I just wanted to bring this out so that you would not be too hyped and later disappointed when you see that explosive arrow is actually pretty much the same as before, or at least it seems that way. So barrage support gem could make this build in Kinetic Blast into much better for single target, because you'll be able to just kind of I guess you will still need to swap one gem. You would need a green support gem, swap into barrage support gem for single target. You wouldn't need to swap GMP. In that case, you would shoot just a line of projectiles that would explode multiple times and overlap, and that could turn into pretty good single target. But I'm still kind of doubtful about the Kinetic Blast. We also don't know exact changes about the skills, about the buff skills. Like, of course, numerical changes. Some skills are probably gonna be reworked, like barrage, for example. Some skills, maybe Scourger, are gonna get nerfed in some way. We'll have to see, but possibilities are there, especially with the barrage support gem. I got really excited because explosive arrow, for example, could be really a good thing. Sadly, it's 3.9, so we're not gonna get the new gem system, so we're not gonna be able to get multiple 6-link easily, but nonetheless it's still pretty cool. And personally, I'm not too interested in other buff support gems, and except for the ballistas. Ballistas look pretty interesting. I believe Tornado Shot is getting nerfed in some way, or maybe just Arrow Nova is gonna replace the Tornado Shot, because you're gonna be able to use basically any buff skill as a Tornado Shot replacement with the Arrow Nova support gem. So I guess we'll have to see that. And I believe that's pretty much it for now. Like I said, I don't want to talk too much about this build, but I'm gonna include path for building import code if you kind of want to copy. I believe I didn't mention, I do have a helmet enchantment for Kinetic Blast. Has 75% chance for additional explosion, which doesn't seem to be that useful. And I also fossil crafted with nearby enemies have -9 to lightning resistance, because I am focusing mostly on lightning damage. But yeah, it doesn't seem good as it is right now. Oh, I wanted to mention, actually I have a message for my patrons. Do check out your Patreon page, because I sent you a whisper. I'm basically giving out free t-shirts for my current patrons as a thank you for continuous support, and all you have to do is reply to my direct message and tell me your t-shirt choice and your address, basically, so I would know where to send it. And you won't have to pay anything. It's just my gift for my patrons. Some of them have not replied yet, so I don't know if they don't want it or we just missed it. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. I'm also opening the merch shop. I actually opened it, but I'm gonna talk about make a separate video about it once I get my hoodie, so I can kind of advertise and also inspect the quality, I guess, better. So I'm gonna do a separate video about that. And for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.